Hey, welcome back. This is part 2 of the Beautiful Budget Workbook Getting Started mini series. Now that we've had a chance to fill in a variety of trackers and kind of set the stage for our 12 months inside of the Beautiful Budget Workbook, let's now look at what we're going to want to fill in when we are starting a brand new, fresh month in the workbook. I always recommend that you start with a money calendar and a snapshots page. So these are perfectly positioned at the start of each new month in the workbook. And of course, all the months are separated using those illustrated tabs. And the snapshots page really lets you zoom in on 3 key areas of your finances, and that's your emergency fund, your debt, and your savings buckets. All right, so just like last time, let's move now to an overhead view and see how we would fill in these 2 worksheets. Okay, so here we are at a fresh money calendar. What I'll do here is I'll kind of walk you through a checklist that I recommend that you follow when you are going to fill in a new money calendar. Let's start though with what I got going on around my workbook on my kind of desk station here. I tend to use stencils more on the snapshots page than I do on the money calendar, but these are just a stencil pack that I got from Amazon. I almost always have those on my desk. And then a multitude of stickers. I'm of the mindset you could never have too much stickers. This is a pack I got from Amazon. I absolutely love it. They're pretty glossy as opposed to matte, but I'll be sure to link this set. And then I also have stickers from Katie. Her handle on Instagram is Debt Free Phoenix, and she has an Etsy shop with the cutest budgeting and debt payoff stickers, emergency funds. I mean, they're just incredible. So I'll probably use one of these on the money calendar that I'll walk through today. And I've got my new bamboo calculator here. Excited to use this beauty. It's really clicky clacky. Those are my favorite. So I got that guy up here. I just tend to have all of these things ready. And of course, I can't forget my favorite highlighters. I'll be sure to link these. Everything that I can link in the description, I will, but I have a pack of midliner highlighters from Amazon. And what I've done is I've taken white plain sticker labels and I have labeled each of these highlighters to represent a category of my budget. And that is how I'm able to color code different sheets and different areas of my workbook. All right, so that's kind of what I got going on around my workbook. So when it comes to labeling this money calendar, there are month title stickers in the appendix section, and those were designed to be used on the money calendar. Some people use them on the snapshots page right over here, but you'll probably find with the size that you're likely going to want to put it here. Either way, it's your workbook. You can do whatever you'd like, but I'm going to grab the May sticker from the back and place it right here. All right, now that I've got my May sticker up there, I'm going to go ahead and fill in the dates, and I'll use May 2022 for this example. All right, now that my days are all numbered here, I'm really ready to dive in. And the very first thing that I recommend you list on a fresh money calendar are your paydays. And there are stickers in the back. I've got some pink payday stickers and some gold payday stickers. And I'll show you the reason why I included 2 colors. All right, so for us, we are paid each month on the 1st and the 15th, both my husband and myself. What I've done here is I've marked the 1st with a pink payday sticker and the 15th with a gold payday sticker. Here is what those colors are going to indicate. I'm actually going to block off the pay cycles. So you'll see me highlight, I'll create a border around the 1st through the 14th, which will represent one pay cycle, and then the 15th through the 31st, which will represent another pay cycle. We budget based on when we are paid, and that is what I recommend that you do when you set up your budgets, is you have your budget periods match your pay cycles. All right, so now we have a clearer view of what the budget periods are going to be for this month. And another thing I'll note, when I place these stickers, I realized that these payday stickers are on weekends. So you may have thought to yourself, well, those paychecks aren't actually going to process on Sunday. They'll process like the business day prior, right? So late April, and then May 13th is when our paychecks will actually process. And that's true, but I try not to get too wrapped up in that. When I draft my budgets, they are truly calendar days, the 1st through the 14th and the 15th through the end of the month. And then how the paychecks come to fall. So if we get paid a little bit earlier than that, when you're looking at the calendar, it still doesn't change the money that's going to go out and the money that's going to go in for the budget that I've written. It just means that we got paid a little bit early, but it doesn't change the budget. So now we've got these blocked off. We have our paydays listed. We have our budget cycles listed. Now what we want to do is we want to add bills. And we want to place them on the days that they're going to be due. So I'll actually run this for our real budget. You'll see me jot down our bills on the day that they're due. A couple different directions that we can go here. One approach you can take is highlighting all of these bills based on the pay period or the budget period that they fall in. What that would look like here is I would highlight all of these bills that appear on the 1st through the 14th. I would highlight them pink. And what I'm saying is this payday, which is actually 2 paydays because it's one for each of us, I'm saying that this income is covering all of these. That is what I'm saying with that approach. And then likewise down here, the 15th through the 31st, I'm saying this payday would cover all of these when I highlight these in kind of a gold yellow color here. And that really helps to visualize the budget periods. But a different approach you can take is to highlight these based on category, okay? And then what you could do is you could kind of have a legend over here in the notes section or up here in the margin, whatever you'd like to do. So what that would look like, for example, I've got my children highlighter here, and I could use this to highlight any expenses that are going to be categorized as children in my budget. So daycare. Okay, we pay daycare every Monday, so I would highlight all of those in this color, and I would just continue with that. I would highlight mortgage using my housing highlighter. Apple would be subscriptions, etc. I have begun to go more with the latter approach, and here's why. At the end of the month, when you're going to fill in the summary page, part of what you're asked to fill in, all of the spending you projected by category. So let's say the children's category, we projected $400. The subscriptions category, we projected $60, et cetera, et cetera. It can be tricky to go back to your budgets and calculate the sum of all of your projected spending. You'll see when we get to the expense tracker that everything that's actually coming in and actually going out is reflected here. And there's a place for you to kind of keep totals by category down here on your expense tracker. So adding up your actual values for your actual column here isn't so time consuming. But adding up everything that you're projecting by category, you're either going to want to have your money calendar include amounts for everything, and then you color it by category so that you can quickly add, for example, children. I would add this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. Maybe I would list my variable expenses over here, like supplies for the kids, diapers, wipes. We still have one in diapers, so that's something that we budget for. But you can kind of see what I'm getting at. That would be a way to kind of speed up that process of quickly recognizing everything that we projected to spend by category. You're either going to want to have that easy to figure out here or easy to figure out here, which we'll cover this in a later video, but that's why I have a category legend right here, is so you can list your categories, highlight them in different colors, and then you would highlight through your budget those different colors. And that is why that's there, is I'm thinking ahead for you. When it comes time to fill in that summary, that's a lot of number crunching you have to do. So anything that we can do to simplify that, make our lives a little bit easier, we should probably pursue that. So I've leaned more towards highlighting these by category. But again, either way, whichever format helps you and really clarifies the process for you. If you're brand new to budgeting based on when you're paid, you probably want to do, highlighting your bills based on the pay cycle. So highlighting everything up here in pink, highlighting everything down here in yellow. And that helps you see, okay, when I write this budget, it's only going to include income for between these two dates and expenses between these two dates. So two kind of routes you can take on that front. But I mentioned subscriptions. This is the time to go back and look at your subscription tracker and check and make sure, hey, is there some quarterly subscription or annual subscription that comes out in May? Have I captured all of our subscriptions? These can be a common gotcha, particularly the ones that are not every month. If it's every other month or every quarter, it's very easy to slip up and miss some of your subscriptions. So that's part of your checklist, is coming back and checking your subscription tracker. You also want to check your important dates tracker. And you want to look for, what do we have going on in May? Oh, look, a graduation on the 8th. That's something that is going to cost money. What are the travel costs? Are we getting a gift? Okay. Also Mother's Day, budgeting for that. So you can see how these trackers towards the beginning really start to be very helpful as you craft your money calendar and begin to prep your budget. I tend to come over here and write down the items from the front, just so I have everything in one place. And the May 8th graduation is not actually an expense for us. It was just an example, but I'll list it here just to be kind of consistent with my trackers from before. It's not a month that we're paying pest control, so I'm going to skip that one. YouTube Premium on the 28th. See, that's one that I don't have listed. So it's good. I'm going to go ahead and list it on the 27th and maybe just kind of do an arrow here to show it's typically due on the 28th. This is another reason why money calendars are so great. This is a great example of why it's useful to you to fill in a money calendar every month. Notice how there are 5 Mondays in May. I have to budget 5 daycare payments when I normally only pay 4. We normally only have 4 Mondays in a typical month. There are only going to be a couple in the course of the year where we have 5 Mondays. This is one of those months. So that's a significant change. That's $434 more that I need to budget in the children category for this month. Excellent example of why money calendars they can kind of save you from those common gotchas. But this is really starting to take shape. We've got our paydays listed and we've blocked off the pay cycles, which also represent our budget periods. They match. We've got our bills listed on the days that they're due. We've gone back and we've checked against our subscription tracker, our important dates to make sure that we aren't missing a beat there. And now we really just come to, okay, what are the goals that we have for this month? Is there a certain amount that we want to invest? Do we want to just put something simple like stay within budget when it comes to dining out? Stay under grocery budget? Or have cash left over in cash envelopes? These are all really good examples of kind of those smaller monthly goals that you could list over here. This is actually where I recommend that you start in a new month. I know that Snapshots is the first page, but starting here really gives you that nice visual aid. Everything is laid out. Then we go ahead and we look at our snapshots. So this is the other page I want to cover in this video. This is where my stencils are going to come in. I like to use my stencils for listing out the month name there. And when we are filling the snapshots page in at the very beginning of the month, really what we're doing is we're saying, where does everything stand in terms of emergency fund, debt, and savings buckets as we start this new month? So you'll notice that you have a first day of month balance area for all of these kind of sections of your finances. You've also got a last day of month balance. The snapshots are really used so that you can see progress in a really quick way, a really quick and easy way. How did you do from the beginning of the month to the end of the month? And then as you close out the month, how far are you from your goals? Okay, what's your remainder to save? So this would be a column that you would fill in at the end of the month. So let's just fill in first day of the month balances, and I'll show you how this kind of takes shape here. Now, starting here with the emergency fund, current balance, and then I'm going to also go ahead and fill in the goal. We're pretending as if it's, April 30th, May 1st, and I'm filling this in. Where does this $20,000 come from? I get that question a lot. That number is approximately 3 months of our core expenses. And when I say core expenses, I'm talking about mortgage, daycare, groceries, dining out. I'm not talking about Netflix and Hulu and YouTube Premium. Those are not going to be included in that calculation. Right now, approximately $7,000 represents our core expenses per month. So $20K is kind of just at that 3-month mark, an easy, even number for us to shoot for. All right, now our debts. Looking now at the debt section of Snapshots, we have our auto loan and then we have our mortgage. Here are the current balances and then interest rates. Now payoff date, I touched on this a little bit in the trackers video. When you're looking at that debt tracker, you're looking at the payoff column, you're thinking to yourself, how do I calculate what that is? I don't know what that is. For us, we're paying these kind of on schedule. We're not accelerating either of these debt payoffs. And it really has to do with the fact that their interest rates are quite low. But these payoff dates can be calculated using a variety of online calculators. There are many. I recommend PowerPay. It's free. You can actually make an account and it'll store your numbers so that when you log back in, you can pick right back up where you left off, add in those extra payments you might have made, and it'll automatically update all of your payment calendars and everything. It's really nice. So just as I recommended PowerPay in the trackers video, I recommend going back to that every single month and looking at, okay, what are we looking at now? Did anything change? So these are your debts. Again, you're leaving the last day of month balance column empty. I'll come back and fill this in on May 30th or 31st. Savings buckets. You may have heard these called sinking funds. I also touched on this in the trackers video. These are things that you're saving towards, expenses that you anticipate, and you just kind of want to gradually save towards them. These are two that I would prioritize most. If you're a homeowner and you have a vehicle, you go ahead and make sure that you get these in place. A property taxes savings bucket, mainly because we moved into a new build and our estimated property taxes going into escrow are likely too low. So we supplement moving money to the side. We move money to the side every month so that we can foot that full bill come September or October when we need to pay that entire amount. And then I'm actually filming this in February. I just didn't have my February calendar blank to fill in these pages. So we have a Valentine's Day sinking bucket right now. All right, so those are all of our current balances. And then when you look at our goal, this represents $300 a month approximately over the course of the full year. So this would actually represent a 12-month goal. And you can come up here and you can be very descriptive and you can say, okay, this is a 12-month goal. You could title this with 6-month goal. These are all of our goal amounts. Okay, I'm going to leave the remainder to save area blank because we'll fill that in at the end of the month. As we close out May, we'll come back and we'll say, okay, we've made our savings efforts, or maybe we didn't, but wherever it is that we stand on the last day of the month, how far are we from what we need to do to get to our goal? And that will shape what your next budget looks like. So naturally, you want that towards the end of the month. It's going to shape what your new budget looks like as you start a new month. All right. And then area over here, kind of a mini savings tracker where you can come over and you can say, save $200. So maybe your goal is extra savings, or maybe you want to be able to make an extra credit card payment, whatever it might be, and then attach a dollar figure to it. For us wanting to invest maybe $4,000, there's 10 goal markers here. So I just label each of these going 400 at a time. And as we work towards that goal, we can color in, and if we reach the top, color in the flower. Lots of personalization and coloring you can do on this page to make it your own. But this is what Snapshots looks like when you start the month. So these two sheets or sets of sheets together really shape how you're going to go into your new budget. But this is how you would fill in your money calendar and your Snapshots page as you prepare to dive into your first budget for the new month.